With Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers gaining a little bit of momentum before Thanksgiving, their Week 13 matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, knowing that the division-leading Atlanta Falcons fell, and given the possibilities that they could possibly climb back into the division race. Leaning on Bryce's newfound swagger, would the Panthers be able to make a move in the NFC South? Stay tuned to find out on Growlin' and Prowlin'. Welcome back, Prowlers. Thank you so much for joining us. And I know I didn't get you guys a preliminary pregame show. My apologies, but hey, listen, I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, and I hope you got a lot of turkey and had a lot of sweet potato and pumpkin pie. Of course, you're back here with your man, Mr. CeeLo. And I've got a little bit of housekeeping to do. I got to give a growl out to my man Larry. He says, really love your content, bro. Keep going, Larry. Thanks, Larry. I appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Bamos803 said JT Sanders was playing good too. Sucks that he got injured. Yes, it was. It was. But the good thing is that we're hearing that he could possibly return before the end of the season. Moly 32, Chiefs fan here, full time, but always have some love for the Panthers too. Digging your channel, man. Panthers are going to be strong. Thanks, Moly. And as I said, as a Chiefs fan, brother, I'm going to tell you something. I know you guys are getting sick of hearing the officiating being as bad as it is, and I know you guys would like to win a game without the help sometimes. But I'm just going to say it like this. It just seems like throughout the league that the teams that are the least desirable get the least amount of calls. We ended up not getting that. There was actually two plays that seemed like the officiating is not good, and I'll bring those up later on. Haas463 says, this Panthers team is giving me a lot of hope for next year. Canales' play calling against the Chiefs look crispy. Bryce is progressing. I ain't even mad we lost this game. I mean, we have 9 picks in the next draft. This team is only going to get younger and more talented heading in the next season. Absolutely, Haas. Absolutely. You're right that Canales' play calling is getting a little bit crisper, but you could see, and you guys saw it in this game today. He's still afraid to do certain things. And I'm going to be honest with you. When we get into the game today, Bryce's arm is a lot stronger than people think, if you know what I'm talking about. Bob Eugene 832 said, never been so excited about a loss. Great rookie class, and it looks like Bryce is going to be a savage. Praying for Sanders, he is that guy. Absolutely. But here's the thing, guys. JT Sanders is not the only tight end we got. If you watch the game today, you know that. I've been telling y'all about this guy since he's been here. You know who I'm talking about. This is where Canales has got to say, hey, this guy's contract's coming up. Let's go ahead and sign this guy back, and we can have that 1-2 punch at tight end. Damn, I'm good. Just saying, Panther Nation. But let us dig into this as I said, I hope you guys had an awesome Thanksgiving. We can always find a time to hold our hands out, put our arms around somebody and say, I love you. Because you never know when this may be your last Thanksgiving. On that note, let us talk about our squad since we didn't play on Turkey Day. But our boys did and played probably the most underappreciated football game of the day. As the Buccaneers came in and got a lot of help, and we found ourselves on the short end of this one as the Buccaneers were able to take us down 26-23 in overtime. Now, there's really not a lot of people we can blame. on this, and I know what people are going to say, why would you start a show out saying who we can blame? Well, when you lose, generally there's got to be some shouldering of the blame. Bryce Young was terrific. And there are a couple of people, I think his name is Michael, who won't admit that Bryce Young looked phenomenal. Even though Bryce was 26 of 46, a lot of his incompletions were throwaways. They're throwaways. And the play that cost us the game, arguably, is not the one that cost us. Eddie Pinheiro was average today. I don't want to say what I want to say because those were 6 points we left on the board. Not to mention the officiating crew said because they couldn't see at a certain angle the catch that should have been a catch. Because Adam Thielen's not one of those guys that says challenge. He's not one of those guys that says challenge. And I've yet never heard somebody say, well, we didn't get the angle on something, so we're going to stick with the call on the field. Really? Is that what we're doing right now? This is pathetic. It is. The officiating is horrible because I can tell you right now, had it been Kansas City, that would have been 6.
You suck.
I'm sorry. I get it. You know, Kansas City fans are tired of hearing this, but guess what? Teams in the league are tired of being on the other side of bad calls. People are going to say, well, bad calls happen all the time. Well, here's the reality. We live in a technological world right now. Why was there not another angle available for that?
You don't have to answer that question.
Simple.
You want answers? I want the truth.
Simple.
You can't handle the truth.
I'm of the belief that you call it a touchdown unless it's just like a fumble. You let it go unless you can get it reviewed. You can always overturn it. But when you sit there and you, in a nutshell, just, it's incomplete and I'm not sure if I saw it move. Adam Thielen played a great game, but what is the thing here is that Bryce Young is doing it up. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a team that you cannot run the football against. They're one of those teams that Bryce had to show up and show out. Now, I will say this about Canellis. He's had some really good play calls in the passing game. And then there's some that you just like, why are we running this? We didn't take but maybe 2 shots. And this is where I was listening to the guy on the telecast. He was really irritating because, like I said, you try to be unbiased, but you lean more towards the favorite, which was the Buccaneers. But there were a couple of throws that I agree with what he said. He said Bryce has got to give them an opportunity. He's more concerned with not throwing a pick, and what I'm referring to is the throw where he had David Moore streaking up the sideline, and that's a touchdown if Moore gets to the ball. That's going to be 6. And I think ultimately that's what he was trying to, he was going for it. And that's one thing I can honestly say I'm glad he's doing is he's going for it. He's not playing around. He is going for it. But see, Canellis has got to give these type of plays a chance, which means is he can't sit here and say he's got one-on-one coverage. He doesn't give like a hot route point to him. If he sees the safety shading over, take that thing up the field. We are not generating enough big plays in the passing game. That one-handed grab that Adam Thielen had, oh my goodness. The ageless wonder never fails. He comes through. Even on Bryce's scramble, he was able to streak in the middle of the field and get open. Still at, age 33, 34? He's still able to get open. I'm really liking what I'm seeing, and it just... And I know some of you are bummed out as I am because needless to say, Pinheiro is going through that same thing Justin Tucker's going through. It's almost like they calling each other up saying, hey man, I'm missing like crazy, man. I need you to miss 2 more today.
What the?
We win this game by a straight touchdown if Pinheiro makes that. And then the officiating. It's impossible for me to believe that they did not have an angle where Thielen caught this football. Yeah, it's hurtful. Looking at the Chuba Hubbard rip, I'm going to call it a rip because there was no way anybody, unless it was Derrick Henry, there was no way Chuba Hubbard was going to, he just attacked the football. I give nothing but respect. I was trying to find a player that stripped Chuba Hubbard because the whole narrative is, and what really irritates me is when you see writers. Anyway, Diaby ended up being the guy that recovered it. That was Anthony Nelson, excuse me. Yeah, Nelson just came in and made a play. And I don't like when people say idiotic stuff like it was his fumble, a costly fumble. I mean, that was just look, he attacked the football. And I mean, honestly, the only thing you can say to Chuba, like everybody else said, was he just made a heck of a play. In which he did. I tip my hat to him. But as I said before, I get sick and tired of hearing writers that don't watch the game, or they just basically say in a nutshell that, you know, it was what it was. And he just made one heck of a football play. And like I said, I get sick and tired of hearing analysts and the way they write in the report. Instead of giving Nelson his flowers, you put the GOAT status on Chuba Hubbard. You know, and the reality of it is, this is one, you're running with the ball, both hands covered up, and you get a 6'7", 271-pound guy that comes out of nowhere. Nowhere. You're thinking he's going to make if anybody's going to hit me here, they're going to make the tackle. Nelson does the aggressive thing. He knows this game is done if he doesn't make a play. He just reaches in there and tackles the football. And they're able to go down and do what they've been doing all game, which is run the football and, you know, finish the game off. I mean, Panther Nation, we can't be mad at Chuba, because here's the reality. Pinheiro had been good all the last couple of weeks. And I'm going to get into that, because here's the reality. Many of you, do you guys remember when Pinheiro first joined the team? There was a moment that he lost us, that Falcons game in the Dome, where we came all the way back. Yeah, you know, remember the one that they flagged DJ Moore 15 yards, and then he turns around and he hooks it, and we have to go to overtime. Then he misses a chip shot to win the game. They look like that, Eddie Pinheiro. And it's ridiculous. Because now it's like, oh, I became the all-time leader in field goal percentage among active players.
Bruh.
This was a game that, you know, and I've said this many a times. So like, the officiating is one of those where it's, if you're a bad team, we're not going to help you out. And it's ridiculous. I mean, you know, but I'm not going to get into that. We're going to talk about how our defense is consistently giving up 230 yards on the ground. And you can tell Derek Brown is horribly missed. I mean, Bucky Irvin had 152 yards on the ground. He had a touchdown. Then Rachaad White put it away with that 38-yarder. He had 76 yards on the ground. And we couldn't run the football. But here's the thing. You know what the Buccaneers are going to do. And I thought David Canellis did a great job finding those gaps. But here's the thing. Coach Avero, if you ain't going to double team Mike Evans, you got to get to the quarterback. Too many times we sent blitzes and that didn't even get there. When are we going to start doing stunts again? I mean, this is ridiculous. We are not stopping anybody. And you're asking Bryce to come out here and score, and then you can't even get Pinheiro to make a kick. Now, I'm trying to vouch for you, Coach, but you are not doing a good job with this defense. You had Amari Barno back today. DJ Johnson played a great game. Listen, growl out to DJ Johnson. He had a great game. Amari Barno did a great job hawking down Baker Mayfield. But look, we got to be able to stop the run. Do we need to listen, we got Mike Jackson. We got J.C. Horn. And then Caleb Farley. We need to get these guys up in people's faces. If the quarterbacks can throw that thing down the field and they can stick it like Adam Thielen did, that one touchdown grab that Mike Evans had, I'll take that all day long. But you ain't going to face a Mike Evans every game. Let these defenders get up on them. What are you doing? Especially if you're going to blitz.
Bruh.
Sean Smith-Wade had a pretty good game today, too. A big growl out to him. Josie Jewell, once again, having a great game, picking up that sack that Baker ended up getting shook up on. I mean, we've had our moments. And this is where I get on Avero, because there are too many times when we're giving up too many points, especially on the ground. We cannot give up over 200 yards on the ground in the National Football League and think we're going to win. Now, we can't sit here and say we got to be able to run the football. Now, one thing I will say, Dave Canellis, you got Brooks and you got Chuba Hubbard. At some point, we need to use both of them at the same time. And I saw a couple of formations where you had them out at the same time. Very good thought process there. The difference is there needs to be fake handoff to Chuba, give it to Brooks, or vice versa. That's what you do with a team like Tampa Bay that is consistently trying to outwit what you got going. Tampa Bay is a stop the run first kind of team. You saw that today, which is why Bryce was able to do what he did, and with your very good play calling. Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, I give you about an 8 because there are too many situations where we're throwing the ball when we should try the run. We gave up on the run a little bit. And I mean, you got to look at it. We had 21 runs, and Bryce threw it 46 times. No need in that. What you need to do is get creative with your run game. Come on, Dave. We got to get creative with the running game. Again, we're abandoning the run. Now, I like the fact that the tight ends are getting more involved. I'm loving this. You had a throw over there to Steven Sullivan that didn't go the way you wanted it. And then you had Felipe Franks who had one. Then we saw a new face in Dan Chisena. It's a 6'3", big target kind of guy. But the reality of it is we need an established wide receiver that's big. And honestly, Mike Strachan would have been a good guy to have out here. I still say, Panther fans, if Cincinnati's crazy enough to let T. Higgins walk, we need to pounce on him. Bryce needs a big guy to go. And a lot of you might not like what I said, but I'm going to be honest with you. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. Point blank. This is a tough one because this was very winnable. And as I said, as good as the defense played, it wasn't good enough. As good as the offense played, it wasn't good enough. I still think ultimately we need to be more crisp on offense. And like I said, Canellis needs to create more downfield opportunities. That's what it boils down to. Because if you create more downfield opportunities, guess what? You can run the football. When you have a team that's inside of 15 yards, that means they're not intimidated by your deep passing game. And Bryce showed he's got the gun. I don't care what none of y'all say. That throw he made to Tommy Tremble and then the throw he made to Adam Thielen for the touchdown on the move. You ain't fixing to tell me this guy ain't got no gun. And then the beautiful way he was accurately put this thing on the mark. And then you even think about the throw that they did not give Adam Thielen a touchdown on. That was a frozen rope, y'all. Bryce is the man. And I'm going to tell you something right now. All these haters, I lost count of all the haters that was out there to the point that I can't even call you out. But there's a guy named Mike that I know of. And if any of y'all are on that group that call his butt out, post my show, and he's just tell him right now.
Yoo-hoo! I'll make you famous.
I'll make you famous. I'm going to make you famous. Because the reality of it is, this team, as much as I hate to see this end, we could still be in a realistic move to make 9. And everybody's saying, oh, because we lost here. Well, they got the Eagles next week. Well, let's look at it from this standpoint. They do have the Eagles. I'm not overly sold on the Eagles. Now, if they can run the football, that's going to be trouble. But Coach Avero is going to have to do something. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to relieve him. But at the same time, Coach, you got to come up with something. I mean, I get it. Tampa Bay's big up front, but the reality of it is they stopped our running game. They have safeties and linebackers in the box. It don't do you a bit of good if you're blitzing and you're not getting there. Don't do you a bit of good if you're sending 4, 3, 4, 5 guys and you're not stopping the run. We got to make stopping the run the priority. Right now it's not, and it's showing. We're fortunate it was 26-23. Our passing offense was a little bit better, but then you think about the 2 interceptions. When you turn the ball over, what happens is the other team has to rack up 100 more yards for every turnover. That's what Mr. Cilo's formula for the upset has entailed. But here's the thing. Tampa Bay had 27 first downs to Carolina's 19. Third down efficiency, the Panthers were 6 of 16. The Panthers defense did a really good job of getting off the field when they got to third down. Panthers did not go for it on first down. The Buccaneers Panthers did not go for it on fourth down. We ran 68 plays to their 77. They had 445 total yards to 367 for us. They had 15 drives, we had 13. 2 more drives than us. That extra one in overtime. And then that extra one that they got going into the half. See, that we got to realize that when we make opportunities for ourselves, we got to finish. And you're looking at it, and that's not good when you lose like this. When you know that you play better than the opposing team. Look at the time of possession. The Buccaneers had 39 minutes, almost 40 minutes. Almost 13 minutes longer than we did. But they had 2 turnovers. And we had the one right there at the end. Keys to the upset, guys. We didn't win a single category. But here we were. We won the turnover battle. And the one turnover that we had, it cost us the game. But I'm going to tell you, looking at it like this, it's one of those where you just kind of look at it and you say, it's a growing process. And honestly, I like the fact that you had J.C. Horn and a couple of the other guys come over and tap Chuba on the helmet because he was really looking down. He was really looking down about that. And honestly, like I said before, we need to jump by him. We need to jump behind him and encourage him. Because not only was this not a good moment for him, this was not a good game for him because he couldn't find any running room. But, and I will give him kudos here. In Panther Nation, we need to give him props on this. He has done a phenomenal job blitz picking up. He has done a great job picking up the blitz and picking up blockers coming through the middle and on the side when Bryce has needed it. We got to give him props there because there's a lot of plays. If we could sit here and we want to chastise him for having that ball taken from him, we need to give him kudos for his pass blocking. Because he has done nothing but the best job he can. And he's done a great job paving the way for Bryce to do what he's been doing these last couple of weeks. Chuba, we are not upset with you. At least here at Growling and Prowling, we're not. Growl out to you how you played today. Keep your head up. Overall, guys, I'm happy. But then, like I said, Pinheiro killed it all for us. Now, I'm going to put a lot of this on him because he's got to make his kicks. That's what he's here for. That is what he's here for. This is a totally different ball game if they have to go for a touchdown. Oh, now I will say this: we wouldn't have had to go. We wouldn't have seen Bryce Young doing what he's doing. But I think ultimately with this game, this season to where it is, I think Canellis is going to be much more aggressive now. With all of this, the way it's occurring right now, I think ultimately that is what we're going to see out of Dave Canellis. He knows this season is a wash. And ultimately, there need to be a lot of teams that are afraid. Because right now they're going to play like a team that's desperate. Philly's a team that is going to feel it. Arizona's a team that's going to feel it. And even Tampa Bay and Atlanta when they see us again. Because these are 3 playoff contenders. Philly better bring it when we go up there. That's all I'm going to say. They better be ready to run us out of the building. But I'm very happy with Bryce. Coach Avero's got to get the defense to stop the run. He's got to cook up a defense that can stop the run. It's as simple as that. Guys made plays on the defense. I'm not going to sit here and stick it all on the defense. But we're sending blitzes that are not getting home. I mean, to me, Baker is much more effective when you run zone. And he should have seen this in his scouting report. Heck, look at the interception that he threw later in that game when he first came back in the game. I'm not saying you run zone all game. I'm saying you have to mix it up to the point that Baker is worried about throwing the ball to a spot. Make Baker make the tight throws, but also make Baker have to think too. 26-23 Buccaneers. I'm happy with what I'm seeing out of Bryce. I'm just not seeing a defense that is overly... This defense looks like a team that they're trying to create turnovers. They're trying to guesstimate what the other team is going to do. And at times it works, and at times it doesn't work. Oh, before we get out of here, guys, did you guys like the color combo today? I loved it. And guys, I'm going to put that on for the Facebook page. The Panthers combo was just... Listen, I want to see that again. That was... I'm wearing this. I was trying to see if I had a shirt in... yeah, listen, they need to come out with that. That is absolutely beautiful. I loved it. That black on blue. Man, that was just, yeah, that was
Poundacious.
I absolutely loved it. But I hope you guys are doing great. In the comments what you thought about the game. What do you thought about Bryce's performance? Do you put any? How do you? Let's show. Do you want to lift up Chuba Hubbard and give him some support because it's going to be a long week for him. Let's also give Amari Barno a growl out because he returned and got a sack. Would love to see this guy start doing some major things now that he's back and fully healthy. I hate it's at the end. Major growl out to Adam Thielen. You want to give him a growl out down in the comments? Please do so. Let's support our guys. Let's do what we do. Let's show them that we care and that we're not giving up because guess what? There's always next season. And we're building to a strong foundation. You guys stay safe. Make sure you hit me up on Facebook at Growlin' and Prowlin'. Go join the group at Growlin' and Prowlin', and also hit me up on Instagram at Mr. CeeLo and find out the things I'm getting involved in. But until the next time, keep prowling the airwaves and keep growling out. Keep pounding.